What's up, guys? Nethervvoid here with more Elite Dangerous Space Truckers, episode 5, I want to say, of season 2. And today we're going to talk about top 10 video games, old video games that I like. That's going to be our topic. But first, we need to look at Starport Services and make sure we're doing trade here. I have decided that I'm going to get the hauler, and then because I think the hauler will help me get to the adder quicker. Because I'll get it, according to wikis I've looked up, I should get 90% of that hauler back when I sell it, because I'm going to sell it back. So we're going to get bio waste. I'm just using keys here. That was the D key.
At maximum capacity.
And then with the hauler, I'm going to fit it with, oops, nope, exit. I'm going to fit it with all the upgraded cargo space, and that should really help me out, because I'm going to be able to get 22 per. So I think it's going to be a lot faster, and I'm going to lose about 5,000 from that, but I should be able to do about 5,000 profit per run, and I think it's just going to help a lot. So top 10 old games I love or have influenced me, I think, is something that might take, you know, more than one episode, but we'll just have to see how that's going to work. Alright, there we go. Because if it does take 2 episodes, it's fine. I don't really care. But I really only have about 3 minutes per game to talk. And, because if it's a 30-minute episode. Am I flying straight toward the planet? Guess we're about to find out.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, it's got to be the planet. Why would it be all blacked out right there?
4, 3.
This is weird.
2, 1. Engage.
I guess we're going to see. Okay. So, yeah, that's a planet. Okay. I was gonna say. So, anyway, well, let's start with number 10. Number 10 being Carnage Heart, my top 10 games. Now, the requirements are that the game is at least 10 years old, top 10 video games. For me, for all time. And they don't have to necessarily be the games I loved the most. They just have to be the games that are just like a big turning point in my life or something like that with video games. So Carnage Heart, people probably never even heard of that game. It was on PlayStation when I found out about it. PlayStation 1. It's an awesome little game where you have robots. You buy robots. Well, you don't buy them. I think you do. It's been a long time since I played it. Obviously, PlayStation 1. And you program their movements and how they're going to attack other robots and stuff. But you program them like a programming language. You program in loops, and you program search parts of the program where they're going to search for other robots and stuff, and then what to do when they find other robots. I'm hopefully showing you some screenshots, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to that. But it's a really fun game, and you can actually get, there's a newer version of it, because I thought, wow, if they have a newer version, I'm definitely going to get it. But they have a newer version, Carnage Heart something, on PSP, but that's the newest version they have. So it didn't really come out with any newer versions. I really wish they would. It was a really fun game. I spent hours like programming the stupid robots to, you know, get the optimal search patterns and the optimal firing thing, because you had to, like, you can only fire your weapon, then you had to wait because it would overheat. So you'd check for heat, right? If it wasn't overheating, fire again. If it was overheating, you know, loop through a thing and keep checking the heat, right? Because you didn't want your weapon overheat, because that robot would not be able to fire anymore, would not be able to do any damage. So it was kind of a cool little game. I played it the hell out of that game. It was really short, though. I kind of wished it was a little bit longer, and I wished it was a little bit more complicated, because I really liked the programming part of it. But I wish they would come out with more games like that. It was very unique. I've never seen or played a game like that ever since then. I've never played a game like that. It's just that it was that cool. So that was number 10, Carnage Heart. Number 9, Final Fantasy II American version on Super Nintendo. I'm sure you guys have all heard of that. And this game was pretty sweet. It was really my first long like story-driven RPG. It was really awesome. I really loved it. Obviously, all the Final Fantasies kind of have a similar way that they work, and so once you know one, you kind of know how all of them work. But it was really neat. I thought it was kind of fun that it was kind of an open world. Like, once you got the airship, you could fly around and go to different islands that you couldn't necessarily get to yet. Like, you weren't ready for that island yet. I think they even had a couple islands that weren't even part of the story. You just went there to try to fight and, you know, try to kill people and stuff, and try to get some upgraded weapons and things like that. It was really cool. But I really liked that game. I played the hell out of that one too. It took a long time to master that game, which I thought was really cool. I did get some cheats for the game, or not cheats, but I cheated. Well, back then it felt like cheating, where I kind of looked up how to beat some of the bosses. We didn't really... Internet was kind of out back then, but it wasn't all that prolific. But I think I looked it up in I don't know if it was a magazine or what, but I definitely found some ways to beat certain bosses that I was having a hard time figuring out how to beat. Like that, the computer boss was really tough. The CPU with the security modules or whatever it was, that thing was really hard to beat, and so I really had to go online and kind of figure that out. So Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. Actually, it looks like I might be able to get through everything. Number 8, Elevator Action. It was an arcade game, and they probably came out with some other versions of it on their platforms or whatever. But I played that game when it was an arcade game. It was actually at the corner store, the little... It wasn't a gas station, it was a 7-Eleven, and I used to go up there and pump so many quarters in that game. I got so good, I could play for like more than 15 minutes on one quarter, which is pretty awesome for the games in that day. Like, if you put a quarter in a game, you usually only play for like 4 minutes or so, and you'd be dead. But I could seriously play, oops, that's not what I want, I don't want this. I could, easily kick butt on that game. I usually got to like the 3rd world or something before I die. Maybe the 4th, it kind of depended. But I did really well in that game. And I think that's what started to kind of get me into video games, because I was into video games. I've always been into video games. Like, I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese with my mom and stuff, and play all the arcade games and everything. But I only got to play those every once in a while, right?
Scan detected.
And not only that, and let's flip around because I hate doing this, because now I have to stop basically and turn. Because I only got to play that when we went to Chuck E. Cheese, when we went to the pizza place. I didn't get to play it all the time. It wasn't like having a Nintendo, and I couldn't just play, on the weekends, every weekend or anything like that. I had to only play when we went to Chuck E. Cheese. It was not very often. So I was playing like stuff like Marble Madness. That was a really fun game. That castle game with the stupid bear who is trying to get the honey and stuff like that. But Elevator Action was the first game that I played that I could play whenever I wanted, kind of. I mean, not whenever I wanted, but I could play it like more often and actually get good at it. So that was a lot of fun, and that kind of got me into video games, I think. That's when I knew I really liked video games. I would just take $1 and go down there. I could play for an hour off $1. It was really cool. So next up, we got Diablo II on the PC. I had been a fan of Diablo already. I played Diablo on PlayStation, which is a really fun game. I played the hell out of that. I think I had a level 52 sorcerer, and back then that was pretty big for the PlayStation because they didn't have Nightmare or Hell on PlayStation. They only had one difficulty level. So to get to 52 off normal took forever. Like, I would just do Diablo runs, Diablo, and I wouldn't level for sometimes, like, I don't know, a whole day or two of just grinding and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Diablo 2 that's when I made all kinds of character builds. I started doing single player a lot. What else did I do? I started doing single player a lot. I also started hoarding like my single player items and stuff into a stash, an offline stash called Atma, and I'd trade with people, and it was just a lot of fun. I did a bunch of builds with that. Diablo 2 was fun. It's a top-down kind of dungeon crawler in a sense, but it's procedurally generated and things like that. But I had a lot of fun with that game. So I've got 65,000 credits. I'm gonna go ahead and sell, but first let me go in and switch out my switch out the parts again, because I'm gonna need these internals. Let's switch out the cargo rack. Swap, I guess, with what? I don't have anything. Apparently I can't swap, so back. Alright, let's do this again. Oh, okay. So I can, oh no, that's 1,000. Let's just do it with the cheapest thing, fuel scoop, right? Yeah, let's just do this cheapest thing, because I want to keep that. Oh, it's selling it. We're selling it. There's no way to keep it. 32.5. Oh, so you get the full value back if you sell it before you... If you sell your ship, you only get 90% of the modules. So let's switch out these modules for something really, really cheap. Okay, again, let's do 600. That's going to save us a little bit. Not a lot, but that's okay. So now I can see, but... Oh, well, I did get all the money back, I guess. But now, because I'm going to still have my Sidewinder. That's fine. Alright, so now we're going to go to Shipyard. I'm going to get the hauler, and then we can kind of... Because I can go to... I found that the adder is at another station in the system, so we'll just buy this. We're going to purchase and buy a new ship and sell your current ship. Buy a new ship and store your current ship. I don't know. I don't really need a Sidewinder. Let's just sell the whole thing. So I really am going to need insurance, but I don't think I need insurance in a newbie system. There's really nothing shooting at me or anything. So yeah, Diablo II is really fun. A lot of bills and stuff. Number 6, I'm sorry, World of Warcraft. Love that game. I know it's kind of... Wow, that's really insane sounding. We're going to go to Starport Services. We're going to start... Let's outfit this sucker. Yeah, World of Warcraft was a very fun game. I'm sure everybody's heard of that, hopefully. A lot of fun playing that game. Cargo rack. 22, huh? Because bigger cargo racks? We'll see. So buy and equip. We don't need a shield generator. We need cargo rack. Buy back. Oh, okay. Well, you get this. It's for the same amount, so I don't understand. Oh, it's because I don't have enough money for that. Probably get bigger cargo racks is probably what you can do. Yeah. Nope. Okay, so cargo rack 4. Let's buy that. And then basic scanner, we can get 2. So that's only 14. What can you dump? Like frameshift drive or thrusters? How are you going to drop that stuff? Oh, it's probably because I can get better racks. That's probably what it is. So we'll just get this rack, I guess. That helps us some, at least. Now we have, instead of 10, we have 14. Doesn't seem like a lot, but okay. I thought we can get 22 on there. See, it's a slot 3. Oh, see, these we can get something bigger. So let's look. They should have something bigger, right? Capacity 8. Cargo rack. There we go. 10,000? That's better. Let's get that. And now we don't have enough to buy the next one. Well, we might. Let's check. Oh, we do. Perfect. So now we have 16, 20, 22. So that's perfect. Now let's go buy some meat, and we should be good to go. So yeah, World of Warcraft was really a lot of fun. It was really the kind of quintessential MMO that brought really everybody else into, you know, all the... Oh, now I can't buy anything. I can't even buy that. Well, let's just do wheat. That's cheap, right? We'll do grain once. And we're going to have to just take 6. So that, it is what it is, right? I don't really care. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I ran a guild in that. Went through all the way through... almost all the way to Ice Crown. We actually got into Ice Crown. We beat one of the wings of Ice Crown. We're working on the second one. And then, you know, as guilds do, we went on like a winter break, and that was kind of the end of that. People were kind of done with Warcraft. We've been playing a lot. We've been doing a lot of... Oops, that's not what I wanted. We've been doing a lot of raiding and stuff, and people were just a little bit burnt out. You know, we did pretty hardcore on our... you know, on the way we did raiding and stuff like that. Well, it wasn't too hard. I think we did 2 times a week. Or did we do 3? I can't remember. But people were just burned out. You know, it's hard to raid and everything and have and then you got to farm for potions and all this other crap. Yeah, it was not very fun. It was a lot of work. Wow, this one sounds weird. I need to pitch faster. This pitching is too slow. I almost feel like turning is faster. Alright, so let's do this. How are we
Frame
not
shift drive
mass
charging.
locked? Whatever. So yeah, World of Warcraft, pretty awesome game. Again, I'm trying to show screenshots of all these, but I might not be able to do it on all of them. The one like World of Warcraft, I'm not. People know what that is. Numbers, and I think that was a big deal for me because I ran a guild again. I really got excited about... Oh, now I'm mass locked. Okay. I really got excited about World of Warcraft. It was one of the MMOs I got excited about again. I wanted to run a guild. I wanted to do raiding, which is a lot different than... No, engines. There we go. And I got into raiding again. It had a great raid atmosphere. It was a really good game, which I know a lot of people already know that, so it's not like I'm telling you anything you didn't know. So yeah, number 5, Warcraft, just Warcraft number 1 on PC. And I think the reason why this is such a big deal to me is because it's the first PC game I really got into. I actually didn't have a PC when it came out. I was playing on my friend's PC. It was actually his dad's PC way back when Warcraft first came out. And it was just a lot different than any other game I played. I never played like a real-time strategy because it might have been the first real-time strategy. I'm not exactly sure because I didn't really keep up on games like that. But it was definitely a lot of fun. Played the hell out of that one. Played with my buddy every chance I got. I would come over to his house and we'd just play that game like it was going out of style. What we would do is take turns on the campaign. He would play one of the campaigns. You know, he would play a map, then I would play the next map, then he would play a map. You know, and we just took turns because back then not a lot of people had PCs, and you kind of did whatever you could. You know, it wasn't like you had a lot of choice. So very awesome game though. Really kind of got me into PC gaming and stuff, and things wouldn't be the same if I had not played that game. I mean, it was really definitely very worthwhile. I don't regret any of my time on Warcraft. Oh, and I probably should tell you guys what these were. So, yeah, Warcraft real-time strategy, I already told you that. So, number 4, Neverwinter Nights. And it sounds like, wow, that's kind of a dumb game to be at number 4. But it's really because of what I did in Neverwinter Nights. It's not really that the game was that great, which it is a good game. But it's like, oh, way down here. Okay. But it's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not earth-shattering, and there's nothing really that new about it or anything. It was on the D&D rule set, which I really like. But it's like, it wasn't that innovative and stuff. But the one thing that I did in that game that I have not done since in other games is I role-played. I was in a player-run server, and in order to be on the server, you had to role-play all the time. You had to be in character, you had to talk in character, you had to make a background for your character. It was really cool. It was unlike any other gaming I'd ever done, and I actually played that for about a year. I was, there were part of guilds that were secret guilds and stuff nobody knew about, like thieves guilds and different things like that. And there were plots going on the server because dungeon masters would run like storylines and stuff. It was really cool. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. That's okay. So, I'm really glad I can dock here. I almost forgot that mediums might not be able to dock here. So, yeah, Neverwinter Nights really influenced me as far as I know I can play role-playing games now. They're a lot of fun to me. I had really a lot of fun in that game, and I don't know, maybe I would still be playing it if there wasn't some kind of issue or something like that, because there was definitely some issues going on with that game. And people playing it and all that stuff. Just kind of is what it is, but I had a lot of fun.
Landing gear deployed. And
I would definitely do it again. Not in that specific game. I really tried to play Neverwinter Nights 2 because there was another server my friends were playing on. But Neverwinter Nights 2 kind of screwed it up because player-run servers were really hamstrung because you can only have like really small maps and stuff, and it was really hard to make a story out of it because of that. So it was kind of crap how that all worked. And so the Neverwinter Nights 2 thing never really took off. Plus, like, the way we did it was we would log in every Tuesday or whatever, and we'd actually do like a D&D campaign thing, which is fun, but it's like, the reason I played on Avalis is what I played on Neverwinter Nights. So Neverwinter Nights was like mainly a single player game RPG based on D&D rule set, Dungeons and Dragons, but they also had a multiplayer component where you could log into servers and you could actually custom build a server. You could custom build the maps, custom build the quests and all that stuff. It was really cool, and that's what people did and made this server called Avalis. You guys have probably heard of it. Post in the comments if you have. And it was just a really awesome experience, and I regret nothing from that. And oh, I'm at the wrong place. Damn it! Seriously? Whatever. Okay, so that's Neverwinter Nights. So number 3, EverQuest. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of that. EverQuest is an RPG MMORPG, and it came out like in '99, I want to say. It was a really awesome game. One of the first theme parks that was graphical. It was like a MUD, which multi-user dungeon. Not sure how many people know about that, what those are, but it was basically an MMO, or a multi-user dungeon was basically a text-based game, MMO, basically. So we need to go to... No, that's wrong, too. Something's wrong with this. What are we doing here? We need to go to this guy. That sucks. We totally went the wrong way. No wonder it was behind that. I don't know, that was kind of weird. Okay, so we're going here. So let's kick this sucker in the high. So, EverQuest, MMORPG, one of the first theme park MMOs. A lot of what WoW was taken from EverQuest with raiding and stuff. And as far as I know, EverQuest was the first game to do raiding. And that's because they had all these guys hit cap and they had nothing to do. So they thought, okay, well, we'll just make a dragon that's pretty much unkillable, that's going to take everybody you can bring to the fight. And there was no cap. There was no raid cap. As many people as fit in the zone, which is, until it crashed or something, is how many people you could bring. So a lot of people bring like 100 people, right? It was insane how many people they get in the raid. And they'd fight this dragon, and it would take a long time to kill this dragon. He'd just be killing people left and right, right? I think Nagafin was the first raid instance in that game, a fire dragon, and it was a lot of fun. I fought him once, not in the original version because I was not a hardcore raider back then, but it was a lot of fun. And actually, later into the game, because I came back to that game several times, it has hella expansions. I don't know if you know about EverQuest, go look it up. It's definitely one of the fathers of MMOs. But there was tons of raiding. It was a lot of fun. That game was a lot of fun. There wasn't a lot of quests, though, which is weird since it's called EverQuest, but whatever. It's kind of odd. But WoW is the first game that really did a lot of questing, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure about that. But EverQuest was fun. They had epic quests, which I still think are my favorite quests, where you had to actually go on raids to get parts, and it would take the epic quest took you all over the world to fight in different places and fight bosses and things like that. It was a lot of fun. And I wish they would do that in other games, because it was just a lot of fun. So that's EverQuest, number 3. Number 2, and this was a really hard choice. I almost picked this for number 1, but it just turns out that the game I picked for number 1 is just more influential for me, and this game I'm picking for number 2 was not as big of an influence for me. Like, EverQuest was a big influence because it's the first time I got into raiding. I ran a raid guild then. I led 70-man raids. It was a lot of fun. It also really burnt me out bad, but it was a lot of fun. But number 2 is Ultima Online. Ultima Online was my first MMO. It was just ruthless MMO. And that made it really awesome. There was PKing, there was PvP all over the place. And when you died, you dropped everything on the ground. Everything had durability, so items actually left the game, which made crafting profitable. Like, you could make money off making really good armor because people die and lose their armor. It's kind of like Eve. That's the way that Eve, yeah, go. What are you doing? I guess we might as well full blast if we're going to be sitting behind this stupid rock here. But that's how the Eve economy works too, is that the reason why there's, you can make money off crafting ships and weapons and stuff like that is because it's all consumable. Like, not just weapons are consumable. Like in other games, the only things that are consumable is like potions and maybe enchantments, right? But in Ultima Online, everything was consumable, because not only would you drop armor, it would break, right? And you'd have to buy new stuff. There was always a demand for new armor and stuff. So there wasn't a lot of magic drops or anything, because you just lose your armor. People would find magic drops and just not use them. Unless you were going to a fight you had to win, right? Then you'd take out your big guns. Then you'd take out the big stuff that would really help you. So yeah, Ultima Online, you could also you could have a house in the game. All the houses, the housing was in the real world, not an instance world, which was really awesome. I really liked that. The dungeons were okay, but you could do, there was skill based, so you could have up to 7 master skill, grandmaster skills and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. You could have all kinds of different builds, because you could only have 700 skill points, and each of your skills could go up to take up 100 points. So you could only really have 7 skills. So if you're a blacksmith, that takes up 100 points. If you're a miner, because you want to support your blacksmith skill, then that's another 100 points. So you really couldn't fight if you're a blacksmith. You usually could not fight, which made it cool. You had to pick what you wanted to do. You couldn't just do everything. You couldn't have one dude that did every freaking thing in the game, because you couldn't, and I liked that. But that was a huge influence on my life, especially since it was my first MMO. I didn't really play a lot with other people, but like there was a thrill to try to get away from PKs and stuff while I was mining and everything. I really loved that. I was like, wow, this is like really adding a whole new level to the game. Also, the fact that, let's see, which way are we going here? Usually there's that little thing. I'm pretty sure, okay, it's like that. Oop, that's wrong. What we need to do is this. There we go. So yeah, it was a huge influence on my life. It really got me into MMOs, got me into Everquest. I told my friend's in the Air Force, because I played it while I was in the Air Force. That's where I first heard about it, and my Air Force buddies told me about it, about Ultima Online. And then that's when I was playing. Oh! What are you doing? Oh, nope.
Integrity compromised.
And of course you did it again, because I thought I was going backward. Okay, so there we go.
Engines disengaged.
But so I told my friend, I'm playing Ultima Online. He knew about it. He's like, well, there's a new game coming out called Everquest. It's really awesome. You should check it out. And that was when the beta was going on, and I checked it out, and that's when I decided to switch to Everquest, because it was 3D graphics. Ultima Online's top down. It's still fun. There are still player servers you can join and get into the old school effect of Ultima, which was really killed when they split Ultima into Trammel and Felucia, which basically Trammel you couldn't PK. You couldn't kill people there. And Felucia you could, so of course all the crafters went to Trammel, and the PKs had nobody to kill. So it was like their whole part of the game was taken out of the game. I think it was a dumb move. A lot of people complained, of course, but part of the game was that you could kill people and you might get killed. That was the whole... I mean, why would you not want to have that in the game? That's part of what the game's about. So, whatever. It is what it is. There's not a lot you can really do about it. So here we go. Nice. There's a full cargo hold of that stuff this time. Alright, let's get out of Dodge here. So, we're almost to the cutoff point. We'll fly back to this other station and kill this episode, but we luckily got to talk about everything. Number 1 on my list, the original Legend of Zelda on the Nintendo. Legend of Zelda was the first RPG I played in a really open world scenario. It was way ahead of its time, way ahead of its time. Just such an awesome game. I loved the dungeons. I loved everything, upgrading weapons, all that kind of crap. I just loved every second of that freaking game. I played it like it was going out of style. In fact, I had a friend that had a Nintendo. I didn't even have one, and I played Legend of Zelda on it. And he let me play it. And then I kind of invited him over only because I wanted to play his Nintendo. And I'd tell him, come over, but bring your Nintendo. And he'd be like, I don't want to bring it this time, because, he played it all the time. I'm like, no, come on, man, bring it over. So I'd make him bring his Nintendo over, because I wanted to play that game so bad. But Legend of Zelda is what really got me into gaming. I'd played Atari and stuff. I had a 5200. I had a 2600. But it was nothing. None of those games were anything like playing Zelda. Because it was the really kick-ass RPG, unlike any others. And there were a lot of other RPGs on Nintendo that I liked. Faxanadu comes to mind. There's a bunch of other ones that I listed, but I didn't put in the top 10 just because they were not that huge of an influence on my life. But I really wanted to pick top 10. So that's my top 10 honorable mentions that almost made it in. It was really hard choices. Are Civilization 2, my first 4 times turn-based 4x strategy game, and Vanguard, which is another MMORPG, which basically crashed and burned because it was very half-baked when it came out, but it was actually a really awesome game. I made a website listing all the dungeons, mapping out dungeons, and adding quests and stuff to that as kind of a resource for the game, because there weren't a lot of resources for the game. It's still up, actually, I think, at dungeonguru.net. That's actually why I created this channel, so you can go check that out. But I'm going to put my whole list of games in the video description. Let me know what your top 10 are, or what your favorite game is, or any of your experiences with the games that I talked about. And I'd really love to know more about what you guys like in what kind of games you guys like, and what were big influences in your life. That's really what I want to know, is what were the biggest games that influenced your life and why. So please put that in the comment section, and we'll just fly in here. We're almost done, and I will hopefully start making enough money to get full loads out of this ship. And it's nice that we've upgraded, because 10 was great, but 22 is way, way better. So I've got a lot of money to recoup, though, because it's going to cost me $5 grand, almost $6 grand just by selling this. I'm going to lose. And then I'm going to get all the money back for my cargo holds, so it's really only going to have to make up an extra $5 grand. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I just think, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's a wash, maybe not, but I was really tired of just flying 10 units. It's nice to fly 22 units. So I really don't have anything else to talk about. But there's a ton of games. Just check the video description. I think I have like 40-something games that I mentioned. These are not all the games I've ever played. It just happens to be the 40 games that I really considered as games that influenced me, or I thought were really awesome for one reason or another, and I played the hell out of most of those games. So, oh! See, it's speeding up. See how it does that? Because it's going to overshoot you. See how it won't slow down? Stop. Yeah, I don't even care. Pop out. You know, what are you doing? Why are you overshooting me, bastard? Man, that pisses me off. Again, I wish you could just set it to slow down at 7 seconds, just like run a macro. I don't have to remember that kind of tedious stuff like that. So let's get there now. We're good. Let's wait. We're cool enough now. Frame shift cooldown. That's fine. So, come on. This is just going to take longer now. And the episode's supposed to be over. We've got 2 minutes over now. And I'm really a stickler on time. And I really don't like to sit here and burn time. But we could probably go back over it a little bit. I didn't cover... Elevator Action was kind of like it was a side-scroller, but you were basically a spy, and you were trying to escape these buildings that you spied, you know, that you like picked up different spy stuff from or something. You could shoot guys. You could kick guys. Yeah, I think you can kick guys. You could also shoot guys, or you could... Again, I'm going too fast. Seriously? I'm going to do an overshoot again. Yep. That's fine, whatever. I don't have... See, I'm trying to talk. I don't really have time to pay attention to this crap. At least we don't have to get out of and wait for drive to come back, but whatever. Couple overshoots. It is what it is. Oh, slow down. Don't be dumb. I want to autopilot in. I want this part to be autopilot. And I don't need an autopilot to dock, but at least this part. This is a very tedious thing to do. It's not like a big deal, but when I'm trying to concentrate on two things, it's not very fun. So, almost there, almost there. Come on, I want to dock. I kind of want to... Let's get there, buddy. All right, we're almost there. Anyway, that's good. I'm just gonna land and sell, and this will be fine. The video is running long, and I don't have anything to talk about. So, as always, guys, stay frosty, and I'm gonna try to have about 3 episodes of this week, because I know you guys like them, and we will have more. I already have a couple more things I want to talk about. So I will see you guys next time. Stay frosty.